What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video I think I'm going to begin the fabrication of my downpipe. So I'm going to make a new 3-inch downpipe for the car. I'll show you what we have to work with. It's pretty tight over here, a little more light, but essentially I want to come out of here with a V-band. So I bought a 5-volt to V-band conversion, and that's going to end me like right about here. So in order to make this bend, I have to kind of come around this way back towards the motor and head over down that way, and that way I'll have room to route my oil drain around there because it's kind of in a bad spot on the pan. I had the motor out when I drilled the hole for the turbo drain, so I wasn't really planning the whole exhaust setup. So I tried to find a good spot on the pan, but I forgot that it could be a bad spot here, and it's kind of in the middle of everything. So I wish I had put it further over to the right. So if you guys are not doing your oil pan drilling yet and you're wanting a turbo, definitely do it a little bit further to the right. You'll make your exhaust a lot less complicated. But for me, we're gonna have to just work with it. I don't really feel like getting another pan, drilling it, and putting a new pan on and all that stuff. So it is what it is. But I'm going to go ahead and make this downpipe. I'm gonna end up using pie cuts, which I've never done before, but I'm going to attempt to do it. So this is my setup. I've got a chop saw, and I put a metal cutting bit on here, and we are gonna see how this goes. I've never done this before. Definitely gonna wear glasses, and I'm gonna set up a little net for my sparks here because it's gonna make a lot of sparks. But right now I'm just trying to figure out a way that I can clamp this pipe effectively. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna get just like a big C-clamp and maybe use a piece of this angle iron to clamp it. But yeah, that remains to come, and I'd like to make a stop over here so I can make sure they're all the same size. So I'm gonna figure out a lot of this stuff, and then I'll probably just show you guys what I end up figuring out. What I have done is marked a line on opposite ends of this pipe. I clamped it to the table, held the angle iron up next to it, and it measures exactly 1.5 inches up, which is sweet. So I used that to trace a line all the way across. You can see I measured first, and then I ended up using the angle iron in the end. But it's 1.5 inches up all the way across, and I did exactly the same thing on the other side too. And what that's going to allow us to do is set our saw to a specific angle, say 4.5 degrees, and then we will cut one cut, and then we will rotate the pipe 180, make another cut at a set distance, rotate the pipe, make a cut, rotate, make a cut. And then what that does is it does a 4.5 degree and a 4.5 degree, which makes 9 degrees of turn, right? It sounds like I'm just making this up, but I swear that's how it works, right? 4.5, 4.5, which makes 9 degrees of total turn. So what that's gonna do is give us 9 degrees. So then we'll do another one of those, and that'll give us 18 degrees. So I'm just gonna say that was pretty painful. This was the first cut right here that I made, just a little guy, and then another little one. This is the second cut. It heats up the pipe so much that it actually melts it into this little plate here, so I'm kind of ruining this. But I'm gonna make like 1 or 2 more cuts, and then I'll clean them up and I'll see how they fit together, and just see if this is gonna work or not, because this chop saw method really sucks. I'm gonna be honest, it's pretty terrible. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe I'll end up using it. Maybe I'll make like a better base for this, like something out of metal. I don't know. It definitely needs some help though. This is like a huge fabrication tool. I'm sure that this thing will come in handy in plenty of scenarios, but I'll show you guys what I ended up getting. It is just a Harbor Freight bandsaw for cutting metal. You can see we're cutting like a champ through this 3-inch pipe. And this thing is all set, and it has auto stop. This guy hits the stop at the end, and I have my material set here so I can cut the same size pie cuts. And this thing's just cranking through, and it's going to go ahead and cut right through our pipe, and we're going to make a bunch of pie cuts. I'll show you guys once I have them all cut out. They're going to be little guys like this. So a lot of welding involved, but hopefully we can make some nice tight turns. So I've been hard at work here making these little slices, just 4.5 degree cuts on each side, which makes 9 degrees of transition per piece. And so yeah, I've been making quite a few of them. Looks like we're getting there, honestly. I tried to fit it up. I wanted to use this guy right here. I bought this right here, this downpipe flange with a 3-inch V-band on it. And so ideally I was going to put the pipe in here, put it on here, and then use this clamp to clamp it like a nice V-band. But the issue with that is it pushes the whole setup out to like here. And there's just no way that I can make that bend with a 3-inch pipe. So that's just kind of just a fact of the matter. If I wanted, I could get a different turbo manifold that mounts the turbo over that way more. I have issues with running the exhaust on this side because of the motor mount, which is all subject to change pretty soon because I have the traction bar coming in, and I'm not sure how the motor mount is going to work with that, or whether or not I'm going to need to buy Innovative's front motor mount. I'm going to have to see how that goes. But as far as right now, I'm going to have to weld to this flange, and that's the only way I'm going to be able to make that turn. So it is what it is. I wanted to do the V-band, but it looks like it's just not going to happen. So it is what it is. No big deal. I'll have the flange up here, and the V-band will just be, you know, down in the back where it connects to the rest of the exhaust. So regular 5-bolt here and V-band down there, and that's the way she goes. But I'm going to keep working on this thing and keep welding. I'll show you guys maybe some more time lapses, but just a lot of intricate welding and waiting for stuff to cool so I don't end up blowing holes in it, because these things get pretty hot. But yeah, just kind of piecing everything together and making it work, and then I'm going to tack it to the flange pretty soon, and then we will go from there. Still have a lot of work to do on this downpipe, and I haven't even got pipes for the full exhaust yet, but I've been thinking I'm going to get some pipes instead of ordering that pre-bent kit, just because it's going to be cheaper. And now that I have this machine, I can cut pipe and do pretty much whatever I need to do. So I might get like a universal bend kit, and then just try to make something work for the exhaust on this car, and that way it'll be fully custom exhaust, fully built by me, and we'll get to see how this sounds. I'm really pumped to hear how it sounds, and I'm really hoping that it spits flames. That is my end goal. I would love to shoot fireballs. So if it doesn't shoot fireballs, I'm gonna be upset, because this is a lot of work. Alright guys, so it's the following day, and I've got, quite a montage of stuff, footage here that I'll probably have shown you over the past few clips. But yeah, I called it quits the other day, and I'm going to probably jump back on it right now, just to probably finish off some welds. I think that this is a really solid setup. I think it's headed in the right direction, and I don't really see myself changing anything about it, so I'm going to go ahead and finish weld it up to that flange there while I have time, and go ahead and finish off a few more welds that need it. And then I think I'm going to cap off this video there, because the traction bar should be getting here tomorrow, and I'm going to make that install a separate video, and then we will continue the rest of the downpipe process, because then we'll have much more room to make our turn down there, and it shouldn't even be a big deal whatsoever. So super excited. I think it's going to sound really awesome. I also think that hopefully we can spool this turbo a little bit lower in the RPM range than we were previously, because the exhaust won't be choking as much. I know it is, it's a decent sized turbo. I was at a swap meet today actually, and I was looking at a lot of turbos. There were just like, random turbos on manifolds, like stock stuff, and just stuff lying around. Old Honda stuff that people took off of their Hondas when they sold them or whatever, turbo stuff. And they were all really little. And I'm looking here at my turbo, and like this thing's like decent size. Like, I didn't think I threw a giant turbo in here, but I think this thing's actually pretty good size for what most people do. This is my first turbo build, so I've never held a turbo in my hand before. I just ordered this thing, and I was like, this should be good for my engine size, and I do think that it is. I think it's big enough to where I have room to grow, which is awesome. And this is a bigger motor, so it definitely needs a bigger turbo than, say, your average V18 or a little T-Series or something like that. So being that it's a larger 2.2 liter, one of Honda's larger engines other than like the K24 for 4 cylinders, I think it deserves the larger turbo, and we got to let this thing flow like it was designed. So we're going to give it that 3-inch, and that'll go all the way back to a 3-inch exhaust. And right now I'm thinking less about getting the pre-bent kit and more about just making my own, especially since I have this pipe cutter now. And I probably won't pie cut it. I'll buy 90s and 45s and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll make that, and then I would like to V-band that to the downpipe and stuff, so make for easy disassembly. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. I think it's going to come out really good, so stay tuned guys, and we'll see how this downpipe comes out, as well as the full exhaust. I think it's going to be pretty sweet. But yeah, thanks for watching, and follow me on Instagram. I'm also setting up a Facebook page if you guys want to check that out. It's also That Accord Guy, so maybe I'll plug that in the description here. I'm going to go do the Facebook thing, because I haven't but I want to. So we gotta see if we can reach as many people as possible. I'm really trying to grow the channel. We're almost at 1,000 now. We're at 890 something, so getting pretty stoked. Definitely gotta do something big for 1,000. So, you know, we gotta figure it out. I think we're gonna turn it up here pretty soon, make a little bit more boost, see if she goes or blows, and yeah. So stay tuned for that, guys. More tuning videos, like I said. But peace, and thanks for watching.